to read to you or give this to you from my memory. And I think that I can read to you as I look over the project number 5 for advanced communication history storytelling, because I'm supposed to give you a plot and tell you a story about someone in history, which I will do. So I don't know if I'm going to be docked for reading it or not, but I think I can read it, just so you know, because that kind of distracts people when you read things even though it's a speech. It is about history, and unfortunately for me, I am not a memorizer of history. So I want to tell you a little story about an officer and a gentleman farmer. I'm going to talk to you about this life that started centuries ago, about the 1700s. Not only do you know this person, but you actually observe special holidays for this person, and they are very important to us and our history. I won't tell you the name because I really want you to think about it. Some of you history buffs probably already know, but for those who do not, I want you to listen closely and see just how close you can come. This person was born February 22nd, 1732. He was actually born on his family's plantation back in Pope's Creek, Westmoreland County. It was a British colony in Virginia. He was born to Augustine Washington and Mary Ball. He was the eldest of Augustine and Mary's children. 6 children, in fact. They spent time on the farm. They spent time getting in there and toiling and raising cattle and vegetables, fruits, a farmer, knowing how to work and till the land at an early age. His farm was actually called Ferry Farm, where he grew up at. There's a plantation near Fredericksburg, Virginia. After his father died, he was helping to manage this plantation at an early age of 11 years old. Because his family was set up with wealth, they had the opportunity to tutor their children, to give to their children, because most people who had wealth in that time, their children didn't necessarily go to a school as we go to school each and every day, but they were tutored and had teachers that come in. So he had the opportunity to do that. He even finished his formal education, as noted, at 15 years old. So not only is this officer and farmer that we related to know someone very important in our history, a person who is at home, going to school, helping tend a farm, the eldest of 6 children. He finishes all of his education at 15 years old. There's a few details that I can share with you about this person as a teenager, loving mathematics, the numbers, and adding and subtracting, and just the intricacies of math. It was a part of his life. With that aptitude, it gave him a edge up, and he was able to be a surveyor of land. So he was surveying land, and he did many expeditions in Virginia, because it's where he's from, in the wilderness, and earned him enough money to actually buy his own land. So not only does he have his father's farm, but he is there building wealth in order to have his own farm, his own land. 1751, he takes a trip outside the United States. He traveled to Barbados with his older half-brother, Lawrence, who was suffering from tuberculosis. And he hoped that the warm climate would kind of help him recuperate and get better. Shortly after they arrived, unfortunately, it didn't necessarily make his brother better. It also made him worse, and he contracted smallpox. He survived, although his illness did leave him with some facial scars. He was able to come through that. In about 1752, next year, his half-brother, Lawrence, had been educated in England. And he was able to work with his brother as a mentor until he passed away. Washington actually received his estate, because Lawrence passed away later on that year in 1752 in Mount Vernon. So he has his own land, he has his father's land, and he now has his half-brother's land. An officer and a gentleman farmer in December 1752. He had no previous military experience at all. He was a commander of the Virginia militia. I'm sure we've all had that circumstance. Somebody has no earthly idea what they're doing and they're the command of you. He saw action in the French and the Indian War and eventually was put in charge of all of Virginia's militia forces. He resigned his commission and returned to Mount Vernon and was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses, where he served until 1754. You know this person to be our president and the first president of the United States. He was commander-in-chief and he was commander of the Centennial Army during the American Revolutionary War. He served from presidents as the United States president from 1789 to 1797. He was the son of a prosperous planter in Washington. In Washington, George Washington, as you know him, was raised in the colonial Virginia. He was a surveyor. He worked in the French and Indian War. During the American Revolutionary, he led the colonial forces to victory over the British. He also became a national hero. He being our president, the first president of the United States of America, George Washington.